Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking a little bit about the Seattle Seahawks. We're mainly going to talk about the offense, so we're going to start this video talking about my man Jalen Milroe. We're going to go through like 3 or 4 plays, talk about some defense, talk about all these rookies, because I genuinely love Jalen Milroe's potential. He reminds me so much of Jalen Hurts. I don't care if that's hyping it up, glazing him up. I really do not care. I think this pass right here, because here's the thing, all right? Every time I see Jalen Milroe's conversation or his name being brought up, it's like, oh, well, he was not a good quarterback for Alabama. And it's like, I think that's mistaken because they don't have Nick Saban and they didn't win a national championship. This is beautiful timing. You're seeing him, you've got a guy right here. You got an open receiver. You're monitoring these linebackers, right? But here's the thing, Jalen Milroe, 4.37 at Pro Day, 36 touchdowns, 11 interceptions last season. He's 6'2", he's 220 pounds, and he can control, or at least last night, it appeared as if he was in control of that football game. So as far as arm talent goes, I think this was beautiful because you got to throw this with enough power so that this linebacker, should we break out some circles? So that this linebacker can't just easily intercept this because he's reading Jalen's eyes. You can tell he's reading Jalen's eyes. But Jalen's actually doing a really good job where it does not look like he's clearly looking this way. Right? He looks like he's more this way. Drawing's horrible. All right, we'll move on to the next clip. This was one of my favorite plays. This probably was my favorite play because I get it, Jalen Milroe didn't have too much on his plate. The sample size is very small. So you're reading this right here. You're reading this guy. What's he doing? He is on his heels, all right? And he is going to perfectly hold on to that. He gets him like bait. And then that move right here. Sorry if this is a little chaotic. That move right there, we talked about this last night. I think honestly the other angle was a little bit better. This is crazy. Quarterbacks don't do that, folks. Quarterbacks genuinely don't do that. And maybe if he doesn't even hesitate right there, he's going to beat that guy and bring this to the house. But I just love what he does. Look at this. He's moving with 31. He's egging this guy, this linebacker. Actually, this dude might be a defensive back right here. Whoever this is, number 39 for the Las Vegas Raiders. He is completely egging this guy on. And they wouldn't have even been in this situation if Damian Martinez had not botched to that kick return. To be quite honest with you, maybe even Seattle wins this because, they're like 5 or 6 right here. But he gets him, and then he does that just quick little agile move. Another thing Seattle did such a good job of yesterday was blocking. This team did a phenomenal job blocking. I know the announcers kept bringing up culture, but it is genuinely true. You don't need to tell a Seahawks fan that. The culture that Seattle is brewing right now, I'm a really big fan. And what does he do right here? He sees nothing's happening. First off, many quarterbacks can't do that. But he sees nothing's working. All right. He's looking around. Nobody is open. 42 is doing a great job, this guy. This Raider guy. He's doing a good job. They're monitoring in the middle of the field. Jalen Milroe takes off. Little misdirection. Just takes off. First down. So it's all these little things, and I'll even show you one more clip of Jaylen from last night. Here, all right, this is the play-action play. We showed you guys this yesterday. He's moving on the run and throws an absolute dot. Jaylen, everyone will say negatively, oh, he's so raw. He wasn't the best arm thrower last season. He wasn't the best. He's, first off, got a strong deep ball. He's got phenomenal speed you don't see at the quarterback position, but it's like this is a preseason football game. Jalen Milroe didn't look the way he did, people would be hating, and people would be calling this dude a bust. So you can't really win in preseason, and obviously if you're a Seahawks fan watching this video, you're amped up, dude. You're amped up about Darnold. You're amped up about this guy. You're amped up about Torrey Horton, Elijah Arroyo, all these dudes. You're amped up. But let's keep it moving because Gray Zabel also had a phenomenal game. All right, now I know I literally just mentioned Gray Zabel, but I do want to show you Abe Lucas because we've talked about Abe a few times on this channel. The biggest issue, the biggest flaw for Seattle's offensive line, it was never really talent, right? Gray's able changes a lot. I know maybe you don't love your interior offensive line the last few seasons, whoever they were, what have you. Charles Cross and Abe Lucas, in my opinion, it's a very good slept-on tackle duo. They're talented, right? But the biggest issue for both of these cats is staying healthy. So you're looking at this guy right here. Who is that? Max Crosby. All right, I guess preseason, whatever. This is going to be a nice little rep. You're not going to be able to move him. Green 18, Crosby's trying to do his thing, and no. All right, just simple. In man, right? I just like it. I like Abe Lucas a lot. And like I said, we're about to get into... I don't want to... Sorry, I don't want to show that interception. But it happened. Let me show you Gray. All right, I don't want to show you too much of this because this is actually a baldy breakdown. All right, and he's just kind of showing some film here. Gray's able, said this in last night's video, I'll say it one more time because we said it all off season. This guy is a stud. You don't have offensive linemen who can play so many different positions and do it well. So last night he's getting reps at left guard and he's kind of saying in this video, look how sticky he is, right? True. We'll fast forward a little bit more. Number 76 right here. I'm telling you, this guy might be one of the best offensive line picks in the entire NFL draft. I know Will Campbell went early. I know some guys went early. Gray's able can literally do it all. And as I was kind of alluding to in the last, clip with Abe Lucas, they were just missing some guys on the interior offensive line. They were missing a Gray's able, all right? So you're going to see this. He's talking about, I think that's Tyree Wilson. You're not doing any, you can't move this guy. I know it's preseason. Tyree Wilson, former number 6 pick, right? You can't move him. Here we go, right here, 76. He was not getting moved. Not getting moved. So I want to talk a little Jaylen. I wanted to talk a little bit of offensive line because those are two things that really, really amped me up yesterday. Obviously, Torrey Horton, I feel like we kind of emphasized him in yesterday's video, so go check that out. We also emphasized guys like Elijah Arroyo. I do think Nick Amanwari is going to be a starter very quickly. Very good problem to have because of how good your defensive back room is. But folks, we got more preseason football tonight. As always, hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Give me your thoughts on Jalen Milroe. Give me your thoughts on Gray's able. Good, bad, anything Seahawks. And also, guys, let me know if you like this style of content. All right, we'll see you later. Peace.